Hey everybody, Zealous Talon here with the video review of the American version of the DaiTenkuu. Now, the instructions, I've seen the formation for just this thing, for what this is going to be called, both the Battlewing Megazord and the Samurai Battlewing. That said, I have no intention of watching the show to clarify which one it actually is, so I'm probably just going to end up calling this DaiTenkuu for the most part because I don't quite know. Is this the Samurai Battlewing, or is it the Battlewing Megazord? Or is it when it's combined with the Samurai Megazord, it's the Samurai Battlewing, or is that the Battlewing Megazord? I have no idea because they decided to be inconsistent with their instructions. So as you can see here, we have all three Zord vehicles thus far released. We have the Beetle, we have the Tiger, and as of 2 days ago, I just got the Swordfish to complete this. So we'll just take our Rangers off, get rid of them all. We don't need them for this. So what we're going to start with here to make this formation is with the Beetle. We're going to rip off the top horn, set that down. We're going to take this pair of legs here on the left side of it and remove those entirely, set them down. And now with the right set, what you're going to do is pull them off, flip them over so that they're angled upward, and you have the two legs going one direction, pointed towards the front, and the single towards the back. And we're going to move it from, there was a tab right here it was on. Now we're going to put it on this tab just behind where the Green Ranger's non-pegged foot would sit. And there we go with that so far. The Swordfish, what we're going to do, you don't have to do this, but I like to. I like to push in the fins to the side just to hide them and make it look slightly less like a fish. Especially since the only other part of the transformation is to rotate the tail 90 degrees so that it's like a whale's tail now, or a dolphin's tail, as opposed to a fish's tail, and rip off the entire back segment with the tail. So, that being the only part of the transformation, I like to put in the fins just to give it a little something else, so it's not just like one stop and you're done, whatevs. The Tiger, what we'll do, rip off the tail, rip off the head. With the head, what we're going to do is this black part, this black connector on the back, we'll actually rotate it up, like so. Set that down. Now with the body, this was the front. Now we're going to be working with this as being the front. So you'll want to make sure all the legs are pointed as to what was down will now be back. And what I like to do here, just for symmetry, is swap this drill with this clawed leg. So you have both of the claw legs on the bottom and the drills on top. And this also kind of sort of makes it look like the thing's going to have some feet, even though they're kind of awkwardly pointed. You could switch these two if you want, but that's just a little bit too much plug and play for what I'm willing to do right now. So it would have just been easier if they'd given us 4 fucking same drill legs. Why did they do that? I don't know, but we'll live with it, and really, for the most part, it works fine. So plug. Now, just here next to these connectors that go into the back of the Samurai Megazord, normally there's this sort of plus-shaped extension, and what we're going to do is take this hole in the back of the Tiger head that we couldn't get to before because that clip was blocking it, and just plug it on like so. And then I like to fold this connector up and push it against the wheel. It just helps secure it a tiny bit more because this thing will fall off at the drop of a hat. And now we can actually start combining these things. So we're going to take where the tail connector was, this black one on the right side, essentially, plug on the Beetle with these side connectors. Swordfish goes on the right. And then we're also going to take these Beetle legs, and just in front of where the Blue Ranger's back foot would go, there's another little tab. And just like the Beetle, 2 in the front, 1 in the back, angled up, and just plug that on. And this one's kind of hard to get on sometimes. You kind of have to start on one edge and torque it in. You can't just push it straight on. The tail here, there's a hole underneath the dorsal fin and a little clip here. That will clip, or excuse me, it's going to be the second clip down is going to clip onto the tiger body. Oh no, it is the first clip. I'm sorry, I'm losing track of all my mind. But that just clips / pegs onto the back here to give it a tail. We'll take the beetle horn, plug it onto this little tab there, like so, and finally the tiger tail crown goes into a little hole on top of what was the beetle horn is now a bird neck, and we have the American version of DaiTenkuu, aka Samurai Battlewing or Battlewing Megazord or whatever the fuck they're gonna decide to call it. I don't know. This thing just brings to light how much more the auxiliaries were downsized compared to the Zords of the Megazord, because this thing is tiny compared to the original DaiTenkuu. I never owned the actual toy, but I've seen pictures. I get a decent idea of the proportions. That thing was huge. And this thing is, I mean, it's not small. The wingspan is greater than the Samurai Megazord is tall, but it's definitely proportionally smaller. And we'll see even more so of that in a second here, once we combine it with, of course, Samurai Megazord. So to facilitate that, we're just going to, again, as always, take off the helmet and store it back in the leg. Now, something with the bird that you'll notice is that it's shorter as well. Something I didn't mention initially. Originally, the back of the tail would plug into the back, and you would split the dorsal fin to form a new tail, so it was longer, but this is shorter because it's just using the existing tail, and the dorsal fin ends up on the back. Also, if you are to roll this thing, you don't get the triple gimmick. The only thing that'll happen is the beetle's head will move, and if you kind of want to shake it side to side, you can get the swordfish tail, yada blah, yada blah. Take these bottom legs. Any two legs will do, but I prefer these two for symmetry, and plus it gives it the drills on the top. I will also remove the crown and the tiger head. Now what we'll do is rotate the drills so that they're facing forward instead of back. Set that down. Samurai Megazord, we also need to raise the clip for the tiger needs to be raised up. We're going to take these legs. I like to do it so the three claws are forward so that the peg that the Red Ranger stands on isn't visible from the front. And there's pegs on the sides of the legs of the Samurai Megazord, and there's holes inside the tiger legs, and we'll just... Pegs go into holes, we get it. I don't need to tell you about the birds and the bees of toys. Fold down that tiger head connector and attach the crown as if we were doing the tiger mode, except now it's going to be accurate because the crown is actually supposed to be open for this formation. Jesus Christ, my cat is spazzing. Anyway, fuck my life. Take this, plug onto the back of the Samurai Megazord, and the tiger head becomes the helmet just as if it was tiger formation, and that is... They're either going to call it the Samurai Battlewing or the Battlewing Megazord. Don't know which one they're going to settle on, because, again, inconsistent with their fucking directions. But I'm just going to call it the Tenku Shinkano per the Japanese name, and it is awesome. However, you can see definitely the proportions have changed. This thing is much narrower wingspan proportionally than the original DaiTenkuu was, and this sits up much higher on the back than the original Tenku Shinkano formation. Also, the drills are now stored on the legs as opposed to being the oh so famous drill nipples. And you might think this guy is top heavy and back heavy, and he is, but the foot design is great on this thing. Very generous heels, so he's not going to tip backwards until you get him about that far back. Case in point. Samurai Battlewing Megazord, American DaiTenkuu. Get all three and put them together. it's good to get a start on the ultimate combo.